Shocking news from the tech world today as eccentric billionaire Finley Hart
has reportedly passed away.
Hey, Sam. I know I wasn't always the best father, but anyway, here's the deal. I'm gonna need your help to stop a globe-killing disaster event. My death was something that had to happen. I always expected great things of this world. And those things are kept secret.
Welcome. Prior to his death, Mr. Finley Hart chose each of you to be a part of the reactivation plan.
You're talking about that machine, aren't you?
Yes.
Temporal displacement. It's time travel.
Sam, I've got to caution you. If your team doesn't discover the key to make the machine work, it will rupture and it'll be bye-bye to humanity.
We're missing someone.
Some lunatic is staring right into my window.
Where's he going?
And beware, there are people who will try to stop you.
Are you okay?
Swear you did not put that photo in the nursery bed.
I've never seen the pictures.
I have your wife.
What's happening?
Run! Run, baby, run!
Is there someplace in your house you can hide?
Is he gone?
What if we only sense that we are bound together in this experiment called humanity, but the real connection is not there?
Hello, my name is Alec Toombs. I am with the Film Yap out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm here with Rick Dugdale, the writer, producer, and director of Zero Contact, starring Anthony Hopkins, Chris Brochu, and Alex Ponovic. The movie comes out this Friday, May 27th, in select theaters and on VOD. Thanks for the time today, Rick.
Thanks for having me on. Excited.
My first question for you, Zero Contact has been referred to as the first NFT movie. Can you describe for folks watching or listening what an NFT is, in case they don't know, and what appealed to you about distributing Zero Contact as an NFT?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, NFT, non-fungible token, is basically a scarce item, and we only released a certain amount of copies of that film that has inclusions and exclusivities that won't be in a traditional release. So the initial film was released on Viewly. So I should say the film that has all these inclusions is released on Viewly. And the whole purpose of releasing as an NFT is about fan engagement and building a community and allowing us to build a world around Zero Contact. This is something that when you release a film traditionally, when the audience leaves the theater, you kind of lose the audience and the audience doesn't feel part of something. So building Viewly and releasing as an NFT was our idea about building a world and a community that could support a universe. And that's where we're going with the sequels with Zero Contact.
Okay. Yeah, that does kind of lead into my next question. I saw on IMDb that you're currently filming Zero Contact, The Reset. Is that true?
That's true. Zero Contact Pole to Pole is part 2, and Zero Contact The Reset's part 3.
Sorry, my
and
mistake.
we are. That's right. We are filming them as we speak.
Did you always plan the films as a trilogy from the get-go?
You know, from the get-go, I mean, the idea started that when the pandemic hit, we kind of said, well, how do you make a film if you can't be in the same room together? And we quickly came up with this concept in 10 days. We shot the film. But then you realize, wait a second, this story worked and we have something here. So it was kind of going through the process of filming it that we kind of knew, regardless of what happens, if the pandemic goes 5 years, at least we know we can shoot 2 and 3 the same way. But we had hoped to maybe build out the franchise in a more conventional way to make films. And so the story, though, allowed us to build it out into what we think might be a whole franchise.
Nice. Zero Contact is your directorial debut after having had a successful producing career. Do you prefer one to the other? And did you flex any markedly different creative muscles directing as opposed to producing?
What's interesting is that, I grew up as a child actor and I had done some short films way back when. And I always thought maybe there's a day that I would direct, but I wanted to put my time in, and you see it from every angle as a producer, doing smaller films and bigger films and music videos and TV series. So I knew I could take that experience at one point and hopefully direct. This film was not necessarily the one I set out to be the directorial debut on, but once we started putting all the pieces together and convincing the cast and crew that this wouldn't be a complete waste of their time, then we kind of looked at it that I would war room it from Los Angeles, and you'd have monitors all over your office, and you'd be zooming into Tokyo and to Munich, and you'd be bringing all these people together remotely. And my colleague Peter Tomasas said, well, who's directing? And that's when I said, well, I guess I'm going to direct this. And then I started looking at the storyline and where we're going with it. It's something that interests me. It's something that will reveal it in the sequels. There's a personal connection to it, and it just seemed like a natural fit to do it.
You've done 3 movies with Sir Ben Kingsley and 2 movies with Sir Anthony Hopkins. These are 2 of the best British actors of all time. Can you describe your relationship with them, and especially with Hopkins, who you worked with on Zero Contact?
Yeah, I like to say I only work with movie stars and people that have a birthday of December 31st, which they both do. And my father's birthday was December 31st, which I always thought was unique. But, obviously they're both legends, and they're both, they're Sir for a reason. I think when you're working with people of that scale, there's a level of professionalism that everybody can learn at every second just by watching. And so, working with Anthony Hopkins in a producer capacity in Blackway was certainly different, but I also learned and could see his process and see how he functioned on a film set and what that would look like. So I was able to come to him with this project and actually kind of talk to what his expectations might be on a standard film set, present the idea of how to shoot him remotely like we did, but then getting to work with him as a director and seeing his process creatively was incredible. He needed a lot of time to prepare for the role because he just takes everything that seriously. Like, his backstory that he created was incredible. There's multiple prequels that could go on with what he creates for Finley Hart, and it's incredible, the process, but they are legends for a reason. I think we can all learn something from working with them, for sure.
Very good. Yeah, he certainly came across as very warm in the clips and the credits, just the message he sent at the end. And it seems as though you and he are friends. I remember you bring your phone up and saying, hey, Tony. Yeah. We're I've gotten to know him and his family quite well, and I have a lot of respect for them, and they're lovely people. And, it did take a certain sales pitch to get him to do the film, because he said, look, I'm not getting off my couch until there's a vaccine. And I said, well, you may not have to go too far. And that was part of the pitch. But, working with him on set, it was a little terrifying because, you're directing Anthony Hopkins for the first time in your career, but you're also dealing with tech issues. And it's not like I could be on set and pull him aside and kind of walk him through how we wanted to shoot the scene. It was, we had a Wi-Fi issue in the first take. And it's like, what do you tell him? You could hear it, but I couldn't see it. And he's like, so how'd it look? And I was like, well, we did see it, but he got upset, and then we had to convince him, like, hey, this is the nature of the beast here. And so, but the take that we didn't see is the take that's in the film. It was the best, of course. That's, the guy nails it in one, obviously. Sure. Chris Brochu and Alex Ponovic aren't as well known as Sir Anthony, but I really responded to the work they did in the movie. Can you describe your working relationship with them for a few?
Yeah, I think when we were casting the film, you had to start with people you have worked with before, because it was going to take a massive pitch to get people to understand just how this process was going to work, and again, not be a waste of time. Alex Ponovic, I had worked with on Blackway with Anthony Hopkins, and they had a great scene on Blackway, so he was looking forward to that opportunity again. Chris Brochu I've worked with a few times. These guys are professionals. These guys bring it every film. Every time we're casting a film, I'm looking at the cast list, trying to find places for them. That That's how good they are. The most fascinating part was when you look at Chris Brochu's performance, and when he's having the flashbacks, and you would zoom in with the whole cast and crew, and we would stand on Zoom. Like Zoom was the way we stood on set, right? It wasn't, we didn't shoot on Zoom. This is not a Zoom movie. But you would be on screen, and then you would see Chris Brochu deliver this amazing performance. Like we were in tears, and you would see the AD and the DP going, "Oh my God, we actually have, this is going to work over Zoom," you know? And they just brought it every day, and they just bought in. They didn't care if it's them pushing the record button or not. These guys just delivered. It was incredible.
It was a good bit of casting with him too. I felt he was very believable as Hopkins' son. They kind of have a similar resemblance. I'm remembering Tony Hopkins from like the late 70s, early 80s, and I kind of see some of the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, definitely.
Okay. My name is Alec, so I have to ask you a somewhat smart Alec-y question before we leave. Your Wikipedia entry refers to you as a good man. I saw this when I looked you up. I'm not doubting the validity of this assertion, but I'm curious who wrote it. Can you illuminate me on this?
That's a great question. I've always been curious as to how and who writes the Wikipedia pages, because it seems to be the secret access. I have never seen that. Good man. Okay. I know I'm on Wikipedia, but you know what happens? It's similar to IMDb, is that somehow some algorithm grabs the information from somewhere. I know for the longest time it had a wrong birthday for me on Wikipedia. I'm actually from Canada originally, but it listed me as American. I'm dual citizen, so it doesn't matter. But there's just not quite all the information is accurate. But I'll take a good man. I can.
Sure.
I can
apparently, whoever wrote it's a fan of yours, so that's nice.
I'll take it. I appreciate that.
Well, I did enjoy the film, and my review will be out later this week. Awesome. I appreciate your time. Zero Contact will be out this Friday. Again, it stars Anthony Hopkins, Chris Brochu, and Alex Ponovic. It'll be available in select theaters and on VOD. Thanks so much for your time today, Rick.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.